not too difficult when you're selling, $1,000 to $3,000 packages. So love it. Okay, cool. So then what do you think, Laura, is like?
Yeah, I get in my head a lot and I get confused, and there's so many professional.
This one is basically, you need to know who your audience is, right? And that's where we kind of niche down. From there, if we know the audience, we have to know All right, Laura Conley, welcome to the show and welcome to the dynamic laser coaching session. So thank you for spending time with us today.
Thanks for having me.
You're very, very welcome. So I want the audience and listeners to know a little bit about who you are. So in 60 seconds, can you just tell us like who you help and serve and kind of like background of health and fitness?
Yeah, I've been in the health and fitness world for a long time, and I've gone through lots of different evolutions. First, I was a runner, and even though I was a runner, I've always loved being in the weight room as well. So in addition to running, I also do a lot of strength training and work with people a lot on strength training. And then I became a triathlete and a cyclist, and I also teach cycling classes. So I kind of became a little bit of a cardio expert with those things too. And then I also had some of my own health injuries or health journey where I had to learn about nutrition and how to really take a holistic mindset and heal myself with nutrition. And then also mindset, which came later when I had to learn about psychology. So now I put all of those together when I work with people, and we touch on what people need and a little bit of everything.
Love it. Yeah, that's awesome. You got a really good resume here.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So let's say in the next 6 months, because I want to establish some goals and some numbers here, and for the listeners too, because we're big on this with teaching our students in our accelerator program. So in the next 6 months, where would you want to see your monthly income with coaching? And then how many clients would you want to have?
I would love to see my income grow. I'd love to be at the 20K a month mark. That would be ideal.
Absolutely.
Eventually grow from there, but stepping stones, of course, I think the first milestone is the 10K mark would be awesome. And I'd love to kind of work with maybe between 5 to 10 people at a time. I find that's my sweet spot because I really go deep with people.
Yeah.
So I go so deep that it's hard for me to hold more than, let's say, 20 clients at a time. It's like kind of juggling. So I would say 5 to 10 clients at any given time. Okay. And
perfect.
Start with the 10K to 20K and go from there.
I love it. We're thinking big on the 20K, and that's definitely doable. So where are you at right now with your monthly income, and how many clients do you have right now?
Right now, I think I have 3 clients. A few of them are injured or sick. So it's like, okay, there's 2 of them that are for sure temporarily out. So I think I have 3 clients right now. Monthly income is around 2,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're like a gap of like 7,500, and not too difficult when you're selling, $1,000 to $3,000 packages. So love it. Okay, cool. So then what do you think, Laura, is like the biggest issue right now that's holding you back from reaching those income brackets and more clients?
Yeah. I get in my head a lot and I get confused, and there's so many professionals that are helping coaches, and they all say, oh, you need your secret sauce. You need to create your signature offer, and you need to niche down. And then I just say, well, I don't know who my niche is, and I don't know what my signature offer is. And then I think that prevents me from actually just helping the people I could help, because I step back and I overanalyze, well, who exactly is my avatar and what is my signature offer for my avatar? And instead of just going out and trying to help or get clients,
right.
I'm back here like futzing around doing all those little homework assignments of describe what your avatar eats for breakfast.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So I guess that's my first like hurdle is just getting over that confusion of A, do I need to niche down? B, what is my niche and do I need a signature offer? Do I have one? What would it be? Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, so we'll tackle the niche thing first, and I have this really cool exercise that I'm going to walk you through because I think it'd be great for the listeners too. But I'm big on niching down. But when you get to that point where it's like literally like, you know, what are they eating for breakfast, and like, you know, like, oh, like I'm literally having like coffee with them type of stuff. It's just like, come on. Like, really, like, are we really going to find those exact people like out like they're like, again, we're health and fitness coaches. Like, we don't want to take on everybody, obviously, but we need to niche down a little bit. But there's a lot of people to help out to where it's like, okay, we don't need to be that specific. Like, come on, it's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
People
and
just take it too far.
Sometimes it's confusing because I know the type of person that I work with, but it doesn't look the same on the outside, right? I might work with a 60-year-old man and a 40-year-old mom, but they have a lot of similarities in the way I work with them because they're willing to go deep and look at some of the underlying things versus they don't look the same on the outside. You know, he's a 60-year-old professional, I don't know, executive, and she's a 40-year-old mom with 2 kids. So you'd say, well, that's not the same avatar, but the way I work with them might be very similar. So that's where I also get confused. It's like,
Okay. And just for context, before we get into this, are you doing in-person coaching or fully online or a hybrid of both?
Hybrid of both. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Gotcha.
Okay. So let's focus on the online side of things.
So that's the thing, great. Laura, is like, I am going to say that I would be a bigger advocate to, you know, really niche down online just because of like these reasons, right? I'll walk you through this really quick, this framework right here. So this one is basically, you need to know who your audience is, right? And that's where we kind of niche down. From there, if we know the audience, we have to know like what the messaging is, right? What are their pain points, their frustrations, their wants, their desires, right? And then from there, we can come up with that offer like we were discussing. So if it's online, we absolutely do have to niche down. Does it have to be to the point where we're like saying like, what are they eating for breakfast? I don't think so. I've never really gotten that detailed with my clients and they've done really well, you know, but in person, obviously, we can't really niche down that much because it's not a bigger pool of people to reach, right? In the radius. Now, right here, really quick, this 5 1s framework, this is taught by one of like our coaches that we did, but it makes a lot of sense, right? So for example, if you were to want to get to 10K months, right? That's where we would focus on literally like your niche and your avatar, right? Then we would have one kind of like signature offer. And then you would obviously have like your lead gen source, whether that be Facebook, whether it be Instagram, and then obviously like a good sales conversion like tool, whether that's like you sell by text, whether you get on phone calls, whether you do Zoom calls. And then we focus on that for a year. If we could focus on literally these 5 1s, then the chances of you really getting up those income brackets are really, really like possible. Because of this, we're focusing on just kind of like all these 5 areas and we're not getting kind of scatterbrained all over the place with other things.
I know, my bad. I know you're probably like, dude, why did you do that? I just really quick, and we'll be back to that video. I just want you to join our free Facebook group community for health and fitness coaches looking to get more online clients. So just click the link below in the description box, join it absolutely free. We got some cool stuff in there, a lot of videos, we do live trainings every couple of months on there. And we got some cool freebies on there. So just make sure to click the link below, join our free Facebook group for health and fitness coaches that want to level up and get more online clients to create more income, impact, influence, independence. Back to the video.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. So let me walk you through this PFC Finder. This stands for your perfect future client, right? So just give me like maybe an example of like somebody you'd want to work with, you know, online.
Okay. So right now, one person that I enjoy working with is a woman who she wants to get toned. She's not necessarily super overweight, but she wants to build some muscle, build strength, look better in her clothes, that kind of thing, perform better. And just overall, I think feel better about herself and her body.
Yeah. Okay.
And very open to all of my coaching, whether it comes to strength training and my nutrition tips and even some of the mindset work behind the scenes. She's very receptive to that.
Okay. And how old is this woman?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
40.
40. Okay, cool. And does she have kids?
She has 2 kids.
2 kids. Okay. And does she work or does she stay at home?
Right now she stays at home.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the people I work with are highly educated. So she was a nurse, and some of my other mothers that I've worked with, even though they're stay at home, like a couple of them were lawyers, they have their own law practice. A lot of them were doctors. So they're very educated, even if they are stay at home moms right now.
Okay. Got it. That's perfect, because this is what it's going to lead into the next kind of questions, right? So we know who this person is. It's a woman, 40 years. They do have kids, right? They stay at home. And like you said, they're educated, right? They probably are fluent. They have definitely disposable income to be able to pay for this type of like service, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing is, could you help this person? Like, could you help them solve their problems?
Yes.
Okay, great. So then what we'll say is, okay, that's a check mark. This smiley face, this means, would you enjoy working with this person?
Yes.
Okay, great.
That's
And then-
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And then would you say too, like this person obviously has like the disposable income to be able to afford your services to solve their problems?
Yes.
Okay,
Cool.
perfect. So right there, right, we have basically 3 out of 3. So this looks like it's definitely like a yes with this person. Now, as just for an example of this one, right, you could do another one just like this for another kind of like perfect future client. And that's all you would do. You'd figure out who this person is, right? Get a little bit detailed. It doesn't have to be like what kind of coffee they drink type of stuff. Figure out what their pain points are, right? And then also, you just do that same exercise. Can you actually help them solve the problems? Would you be happy to help them and enjoy it? And then do they have the money? And if, let's just say this one was like, maybe, couple of these, then obviously, this would probably be like a no.
Mm-hmm.
And what we'd want to do is focus on this one right here, this niche, and just date this niche for about 60 to 90 days, put some content around there, see if we get some hand raises out there and see if we get some traction, see if you like working with these people, see if there's like, if they will actually pay for your high premium offer. And we just go from there. But it's a very kind of like simple exercise to really figure out like who this like, client is you're looking for. And it doesn't have to be so detailed like some of these other people are out there like preaching,
Yeah. I like that term when you said like date them, because it does make it less pressure. Because it is kind of like dating where you're like, okay, do I like working with them?
Yeah.
Are they receptive to my offer? I like that concept. It puts a little bit less pressure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And that's
Not trying to marry them right now.
Exactly. I always tell my students, don't put a ring on it yet. Just date around a little bit, see if like Chris said, that checks all these boxes. And if you could really help them and you actually enjoy it, because that is huge too. I always tell my students, like, know your worth and value. You don't have to take on everyone. If someone's a bad apple or giving you bad energy and just is not compliant and adherent, then move on to the next one that's going to just, value you and be like, man, this is a privilege to work with Laura, because it is.
Yeah.
And there's something cool you can do here, Laura, with like kind of like your background of being like a cardio specialist, right? To where this could be like your unique mechanism to where you get people results. Let's just say it's something tangible, like you help like women, stay-at-home moms that, lose like 10 pounds, like through like your cardio, program or something like that. I think this could be something really unique to where people would be like, wow, that sounds cool. I want to try this program out, especially women that like cardio.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that, and speaking of dating, I threw a few things out there just to see if they hit. And it's really interesting. Like, not a lot of people are interested in cardio. So I also train people how to get ready for their first marathon or their first 10K or triathlon. That's something that people can get behind when it's like, right now I have a client, she's getting ready for her first full marathon.
Yeah.
People will come to me and say, oh, can you get me ready for this race? Yeah. Then that makes more sense.
Absolutely.
And I, of course, do that. But when it comes to just like getting fit and improving your cardio, I tried a few times and I guess it's kind of vague. So I learned, okay, either you're getting ready for an event, an endurance event, or we're going to get you the body, which actually now, how it is in fitness, everything's an evolution. And I've learned, especially with women around that age group, actually strength training is more important right now. I think sometimes we have that old mentality of we need more cardio. And I've noticed with women in their 30s and later, actually they need a little bit less cardio because they're kind of overstressed already.
Yeah.
So maybe the cardio is we back off on your 3 hours of cardio a day and we add strength training, and then I get them the results. And maybe that's something I could focus on.
And see what you just explained to us. That's what you need to start talking about in your content. That's beautiful right there. Like, boom, like people don't know that. They only know what they know. And especially like 40-year-old women, stay-at-home moms, like they don't know this stuff, Laura. And that's where you come in and you solve the issue, and you have to reframe their belief system and have them think differently. Yeah.
And I'll show you one more thing, Laura. Like, this is something really cool you could do with that. Like, if you want to go that other route, like one of our past students, he had this method called a 30 method, right? And basically what that meant was you need 3 days per week to work out only. The 0 standing for zero cardio. So his program 3 days a week consisted of no cardio. And then all you would need is 30 minutes, for those 3 day per week workouts. So that was a pretty cool, like, type of method where he could sit there and market to where people would really like to do something like that,
That's what, like, speaking of our signature offer, going back to that, that's what I think I need to kind of create as a framework. And everyone says, too, you need a methodology. And it's so hard for me to kind of put what's in my head into a methodology like that. I guess I just need to sit down and think about, maybe put the dots together of what I've done in the past with people. Like what he did maybe is saying, this is what he's done that works. So put it on paper.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Yeah, no. And this, I think you got some good things to kind of just test out here and stuff, Laura, but we could go for days on this and do a deep dive. That's what we do in our accelerator program with our students. But if I had to ask you, like, what was the biggest takeaway and what are you going to take action on after this?
Oh, wow. There's a lot. Number one, I think just putting the content out there, like you said, dating around and finding that right fit. And, that one really resonated, and just kind of, like you said, speaking to these things. And I think, like you said, creating content around some of these concepts that are in my head. Like, I already have so many ideas I just don't put out there. Like, I'm kind of against people doing spin classes 7 days a week. And I've never ever said that out loud or put a post about it. So maybe just like putting content and speaking to that. And then, like you said, kind of reframing the paradigm in people's minds. They need to be educated on.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I want to see you take some action on that and give us some feedback. But also, where can the listeners go find you and follow you, like on Instagram?
On Instagram, my handle is at Laura S. Conley. So it's just my name, LauraSConley.
Awesome. We'll have that linked up in the show notes so everyone can go see what you're doing. But once again, Laura, thank you again for your time during this session. I appreciate you.
You're very welcome.
All right, guys, until the next coaching session.